Find something you love to do. Do it every day. Be obsessed. Balance can come later. Use your imagination. Put pen to paper. Declare your intentions. Set small goals. Knock them off, set more goals.
You have a lot of potential as a child, but none of that is capable of manifesting itself as freedom before you become disciplined.
Build confidence. Grow a deep belief. Outwork people. Play the long game. You don't have to be the chosen one. The secret is to build the resolve and spirit to enjoy the plateaus. The times when it doesn't feel like you're improving and you question why you're doing this. If you're patient, the plateaus will become springboards. Finally, never stop striving, reaching for your goals until you get there. But the truth is, even when you get there, even when you get here, standing on this stage, it's the striving, fighting, pushing yourself to the limit every day that you'll miss and you'll long for.
If you want to be a grocer or a general or a politician or a judge, you will invariably become it. That is your punishment. If you never know what you want to be, if you live what some might call the dynamic life, but I will call the artistic life, if each day you are unsure of who you are and what you know, you will never become anything, and that is your reward.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you.
How many of us, I wonder, can recall that childhood moment when we experienced happiness as a state of being, that single moment of untarnished joy, that moment when everything in our world, inside and out, was all right. Everything was all right.
We're going to go to our next video.
Find something you love to do. Do it every day.
Not caring what people think will be the best choice you ever make. Bro, this whole I want to be popular stuff is basic. I know you see the cool kids, they dress fresh, they get the attention, they turning up, they going to parties, and you want to be like them, right? Keep it 100. Sometimes you feel like you're not enough, right? Well, I'm telling you, you are enough. You were born original. Don't you dare die a copy. You were born to stand out. Stop trying to fit in. Popularity does not mean quality, but I get it. I get it. See, in this crazy world we live in, it has no chill. Some people are loved for being fake, and others are judged for being real. But you have to be real. Never stop. Because it's better to be hated for who you are than liked for who you're not. So what if you don't fit in? So what if you're not perfect? Do you know how diamond experts can tell if a diamond is real or worthless? See, the fake diamonds are perfect. The real ones have flaws. And just like that, fake people appear perfect. Real people make mistakes and have flaws. And let me tell you this, the coolest people don't care about being cool. The people who care about being cool are the saddest. When they go home, they're not happy with who they are. Because see, popularity is when other people like you. True happiness is when you like you. See, me and you, bro, we got the same story. See, I was that shy kid. There was nothing I wanted more than for people to like me, but it didn't happen. And I would always think like why? Why can't more people like me? And then it dawned on me. See, sometimes the universe has to protect you from what you think you want. See, me not being popular gave me time to work on me. And when I worked on me, everything changed. When I had the courage to be me, people started coming to me. See, I found out that I was enough already. And just like that, you are enough already. See, nobody has lived your life. Nobody can tell your story. So pick your head up. Don't dim your light so that others don't have to squint. Don't hide your shine underneath the shade. Don't trade your dignity for popularity. You may not be popular now, but you will be great one day. Right now, you may not be well known, but one day you will be worth knowing. So keep focusing on you. And don't worry about what these people think, mainly because most people don't think. Most people will judge you based on an opinion from somebody else. Man, treat these people like coupons and cut them out of your life. Leave them on red. It's time to focus on you. You may not see it now, but in 5 years, none of this popularity stuff is gonna matter. See, popularity ends on yearbook day. What you build and who you become will last the rest of your life. So don't let them write your story. You keep caring about what people think, you will forever be their slave. And you're stronger than that. So never forget who you are, because it is who you are that makes you great. Hey guys. Not caring what people
That is
think.
so wonderful. I want to say hello to everyone today, and just to remind you that this is being recorded. Welcome to our Seeds of Greatness Global Youth Empowerment virtual monthly link up, right? And actually, we may change that to maybe not monthly, but quarterly due to time restraints. But I just want to say that we are going to be hearing from our speaker today, who's Shantalee Sky Forbes, and who is a youth leader, entrepreneur, poet, mentor, and she's also a coach with Boss, building on spiritual substance, and her heritage is Jamaica. Um, Before we stop sharing, I'm just going to read a little snippet about Sky. Sky is a lover of her country, a lover of people, and one who loves the youth of this generation. Shantalee Forbes is the wife of Mr. Lennox Forbes. She's been an active coach for 8 years with Boss. The movement is a nonprofit organization that focuses on winning the world for Jesus Christ through kingdom principles and economics. Coach Shan is a youth leader at Lighthouse of Faith Ministries International in Montego Bay. She's an entrepreneur, a poet, and a mentor. So her power scripture is Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all the ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. She firmly believes that to be a true success is a gift from God. Therefore, one must seek his guidance. So that is who we're going to be hearing from today, everyone. So welcome again. My name is Donna Morton Morgan, and I am the president, CEO of Women of Culture Incorporated. We are all about empowering women and families, youth mentorship, and global outreach all over the world now. We're no longer even just a Caribbean focus, but we're all over the world and growing. Hope to be in Latin America soon, and in Canada and the UK, but right now we're in the US, the Caribbean, and in Tanzania and Uganda in Africa. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we hope to little snippets from various speakers or just mentors around the world to enlighten us, right? This is to empower our mind, our body, souls, emotional wellness, especially in these times. So understand that this is also really for the youth and adults. We had a really good response from our youth summit a few months ago with adults. So this is all beneficial to every single individual. So with that said, thank you, Miss. We're gonna call Coach Sky, and take it away for us, and tell us to, I'm gonna sit back and just enjoy what you have to share with us today, and then we'll just see if there are any questions or comments at the end. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Wherever you are in this world, I want to just thank you for taking the time out to join us. It is true, Donna, that our summit was amazing in August. I'm really glad that information was privy to me through a youth club here in Montego Bay. So I want to thank you for your initiative. I want to thank you for being such a visionary of our generation with the Women of Culture, and not dropping the ball with the summit, but continuing with these monthly and probably quarterly meetups that we'll be having, so that minds that think alike, that are really looking towards the future and the future that we're going to live in, can come together and share ideas and realize that we are not that different after all. We do put on our pants one foot at a time. So I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. And today, I'm not even going to share anything that is new. It is just a simple reminder of things that we see every day, things that we have been through, but we have probably not even been conscious of it, or know how to put a name to whatever we are going through. Beautiful Donna, who she asked me to share after we met at the summit in August, which was a success. And you can go on to the website to just see snippets from that if you just want to catch up with where we are. She asked me, and I was there and I was seeking the Lord. I love Jesus. I love God, so from the get-go, that is my foundation. So whatever I do or I don't do, it's because of that stance that I have made. And it's a personal decision. It's not because my mother was or my father was or the country that I'm living is. No, it was a personal decision based on an encounter that I had. So I was in my mind, and I'm sharing because I'm no preacher, I'm no big sharer, nothing, no, but I'm glad for the opportunity to just share experience. And as Donna rightfully said, I love my country. I love Jamaica. I believe that I was placed on this island for a reason. So I don't really want, not that I don't love traveling, because I have traveled, but I love my country. I love my people, because this is a global village right now with technology and everything, but Jamaica is mine. Everywhere else I go, I'm going to be a foreigner. I'm going to be an alien. But when I'm in Jamaica and wherever I go, I'm always Jamaican. I can identify with Donna as a Jamaican living somewhere else, but 100% I am Jamaican, and I love my people. I love our country, our culture, everything about it. So not even the past 2 years with the whole pandemic really amplifying a lot of things that have been wrong with this world. But in my years of working with young people in the schools and in churches and in communities, I've realized that there are certain pitfalls that we have overlooked and brushed over and probably pacify with different things. And that is where I'm coming. That's the angle that I'm coming from this afternoon. So Donna asked me to share, and I was before the Lord asking, what do I share? Because I don't want to say anything that's not going to have any impact. Even if you're not a youth on this platform, you're probably going to be handling youth at some point. There's probably a neighbor, there's probably a youth group, there is probably somebody that this information can help, or even yourself. I came to Christ very late in my life, I believe, late 20s. And if the information that I had know was passed down to me, if I knew about a woman of culture, if I knew about a youth club, if I had known, then maybe a lot of the errors that I have made, I would not have made. Not that I lost, you know, because I truly believe you don't win or lose. You simply win or learn. All right. So there are winnings that I could have gotten that I didn't because they were learning steps for me. So I went outside and I was, you know, doing some work around the yard, and the Lord began to speak to me. And there's a huge guinea. I don't know if those that are on this platform know guinea, but it's a fruit. It's very small, very sweet if you get the right type that you can just put in your mouth, suck the flesh off of it, and then discard the seed. Anyway, there's a large tree in my neighbor's yard, and I benefit from it because it hangs over. So I get the fruits and all of that. But guess what? I get the leaves when it's changing leaves. I get the blossoms when they are shedding. So I have to do the cleanup. I have to do everything. I don't just get the benefits of the fruit. And I'm outside and I'm cleaning up, and I saw some little trees coming up from seeds that were discarded or fruits that fell, and they have decided to push out. And the Lord began to talk to me about the youth, and he started to say, these little shrubs, these little tiny trees that are like this big, they're like our young people. You can push them around, you can pull them out and toss them aside. You can rip them off, you can break off their leaves at this point because they're so small and they're so fragile and they're not being tended to and they're not being protected, you know, because they're probably in the way of something else, probably a beautiful rose or something. And then he turned my attention to the fully grown tree. And he said, try to move this tree in one pull. And I started to laugh. And he said to me, you know what? This is what the enemy has decided to do. And by the enemy, I mean the evil one, of course, to attack them when they are young and vulnerable so that they cannot grow and become the full purpose and maturity of what they were called to be, to grow and give fruit and bear fruit, and so that their trees will become shade and become homes and all of that to the different spaces around us. And as I began to meditate, I began to think about planting. And you know, we've been talking about planting seeds, Donna, you know,
Yes.
and I wanted to stay with that because it's so important that one of the most faith-filled profession in any country is that of a farmer. A farmer that will take a seed and see the harvest and put his all in it for the harvest from a tiny seed, a seed that will never look like a fruit. And to be honest, everybody, does a melon seed look like an actual watermelon? It doesn't. And I always say, when we look at these youths, are we seeing the melon or are we seeing the melon seed? And in all honesty, aren't we supposed to be looking at these young people, how God sees them with the potential that is on the inside of them? And that is why I chose my topic that says today's youth, tomorrow's future. I chose to go with the principle that says you cannot do what you cannot see. And when I say see, I don't mean with your physical eye, I mean with your mind's eye, with your perception. In all honesty, if Donna asked me to come to her house right now, guess what, Donna? I would not be able to find you without the help of Google Maps. Why? Because I've never been there before. But if I had been there before, it would have been absolutely easy for me to find you because I would have already gone there. Or if you had painted me a picture, or if you would have told me in details, okay, this is where I live. You're going to go down here, then you're going to turn right. Then you're going to go in a taxi, and the taxi is going to leave you at this corner where this sign is, you know? So there is no clear-cut sign. So how can we get there? How do we tell our young people, you are the future, you can do this? They've never been there. Chances are some of the dreams and aspirations that they have, they've never seen it done. Do we say that they're unable to do it because we ourselves have never seen it done, because the generations before have not seen it? I say no. They can do all things through Christ who strengthens them. And I stand on that firmly. So this evening, we're going to talk about this hope to a thing. And what do I mean by hope? All good things come from God. Every good thing come from God. The sunshine, the rain, your family, your breath, every good thing, it comes from God, right? So God is the source of our hope. And what are our hopes? Our thoughts, our dreams, our ideas, our visions. You know, in this world they call it your goals. But these are hopes. And the Bible tells us that hope differs makes a heart sick. What does that mean? It means that if you don't have any goals, what are you working towards? It's easy to become depressed because you're looking only at yourself instead of looking at the goal which is ahead of you. You're looking at where you are and saying, oh, how am I going to do this? Instead of saying, okay, this is a stepping stone to get to where I need to be. It's important at this point that we are telling our youth, you can do it. Persist until you succeed. Don't give up. You are built for this. You know, you don't see a truck toppling over when it has load, because a truck was built to carry load. Now take that same load and you try to put it in your Lexus or your Beamer or your little car, and what happens? You're literally abusing the car, aren't you?
Right.
Because the car was not made for that. And I'm saying it's the same thing. We're not looking at our youth as how God sees them, being built for all that they're going through. We're in a generation now where we're saying, oh, you know, we have to sensitize and we have to, as we would say in Jamaica, with the arms and with the gloves them up, instead of telling them the truth. And guess what, Donna? Social media is telling them the truth. And then they're looking at us and saying, you know what? But mommy lied to me. But you lied to me. You never tell me all of this. And that is why we realize that they are taking more of their leading from social media than they are from their parents who have them in their home. And that is why we have to go back to the foundation. We have to go back to something bigger than ourselves. We have to go back to our source and say, okay, God, what is it that you want me to do? And ask the question. You have to ask the question. How else are you going to get the answer? And we are saying, okay, so we have this hope, we have this dream. And then now we're going to make a decision. How do we make this decision? How do we make this decision? For example, okay, it's a seed. Let's use the melon seed because we introduced the melon before. So the melon seed is a hope, and we've made a decision to do what? Eat the seed, leave the seed on your windowsill in the dust, or do we plant the seed? Okay, we are going to decide to plant the seed. Why have we made that decision to plant the seed? Because we believe that the seed is going to grow. Now, do I make the seed grow? No. But if I don't play my part to plant the seed, will I get any melon? I will not. So I've made the decision to plant the seed, one, because I know that there are melons. I know how melons come about. And I know that if I plant the seed, I will get this melon. At this time, I am trusting in who? The source, which is God, that says, okay, I will send the rain. I will send the sun. I will make the seed grow when you put it in this dark soil and cover it. Okay, so I've decided to plant the seed. I believe it's going to grow. So guess what? That motivates me to take action. So I go outside and I do what? Get my hands dirty. I go and I dig the hole and I put the seed in and I cover it up, and I'm ensuring that there is no form of stuff. What do you say, Donna? You're plotting intentionally, right?
That's right.
So you cover that seed, and I have to take action because the seed is not going to get up and plant itself. Come on now. So we cover that seed and we're trusting that the seed is going to grow. Now, you know what's amazing is that nobody ever thinks about the seed and say, what if the seed had a voice? What would the seed be saying? Would the seed be saying, don't put me in the ground. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be in the dark. We don't think about that. We cover the seed because we're believing for something bigger, something greater, and we take action. We move, trusting that the source of that seed is going to sustain it. And then we go outside and we water it every day. So here I am going outside and I'm watering this seed every day, watering the dirt, literally, because I'm not seeing anything. I don't even see a leaf. I don't even see a little twig, nothing. I'm out there watering the dirt, literally. People might come around and say, you're mad. Every day you're out there, they water the dirt 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, nothing. But guess what? I am the one who has the vision. And as such, I am the one that is going to take all that I'm doing and I am going to stand on that. So I am watering it. And what do we call the watering of that seed? I'm going out there and I'm watering it by faith. I don't sit and I fold my hands and say, you know what? Yes, the seed is going to grow. Grow, seed, grow. I don't do that. I water the seed. And guess what? In that time, you see some stuff start grow up. Don't it? Some stuff start grow up where you didn't plant. They call them weeds. So I have to pull out the weeds and all of that. And I have to take care of that which I have planted. So now by faith, I am tending over this because I'm trusting that me co-laboring with the source of my hope, I am going to get a harvest, which is the melon, right? And then I have to do the one thing that I don't think anybody in this earth likes to do, and that is wait. I don't think this time of COVID, this whole pandemic has shown us that not a lot of us are patient. Patience is one of those things that I truly believe that it is the Spirit of God alone coming alongside us can allow us to do it. And that is why I tip my hat off to the farmers that produce the food that comes to our table. They are patient enough to tend over these seeds that grow into shrubs, that grow into full-grown plants, to produce the fruit that gives us seeds of its kind. And we are waiting and we allow those things to come into full manifestation. And then we have melon juice, melon flavored candies, melon this, melon that, melon and all of this. Now, when we take this same principle and we look at our young people, aren't our young people seeds? Yes, we have to make a decision, but they too have to make a decision that, you know what, I came for more than this. I didn't come here just to breathe in air and then to leave. I came to make a mark on my generation. There was a reason why I was born. And some may say, you know what, but my parents died and all of that. Are you telling me that if you're an orphan, then you were a mistake? No, you were not. You got everything that you needed at birth. The fact that you grew, the fact that you were born meant that you were meant to be here. The fact that I am on this platform with you beautiful people today means that this was a part of my destiny, that I had to do that, but I had to play a role. I had to make the decision leading up to this. Donna, I had to make the decision to log on in August at our youth summit. I had to make the decision to share and to learn from the beautiful minds that were there. And I had to really accept your offer to share. So they have a part to play. And we're thinking, oh, because you're young, you do not have any decision to make. We need to empower our young people more. We need to tell them that you have a choice in this matter. So we give them right and wrong. We want you to choose right, but these are going to be the consequences of right and the consequences of wrong. And let me make it clear, good is not right. And that's a whole different thing, but good is not right. It may be good for you, but is it right for you though? Because it's not hurting anybody. Is it right for them? So yes, they come into this earth as a hope. Every prime minister, every innovative thinker, every person that created something that we're benefiting from, the computer, the fan, the air conditioning, everything, the car, weren't they a child? Weren't they once a youth? Yes, they were. And somebody had to nurture that seed, or they had to take it upon themselves to reach outside themselves to get the nurturing that they need. Trees reach towards their food. If they cannot get any sun, you will see them bending around the shadows to get to the sunlight that they need to grow. And you have some resilient youths, but then we have some youths in our communities that need a little help. They can't do all the bending for themselves. We have to help them out. But it still comes with a decision. Are you going to reach out to the young people group at your church? Are you going to reach out to the youth club? Are you going to go online, the same online that you're doing your TikTok and your this and your that? Are you going to reach out and find a group like Women of Culture or Boss Jamaica Limited or Boss in whichever state you are in the US? Are you going to reach out and try to find one of these people that can help you to become the best version of yourself? Are you going to do it? It takes a decision. After that decision is made, everything else is breeze, because you are now trusting that God is going to sustain you. So, okay, say the dream is to be, let's just say, a doctor. We're using a lot of those nowadays. So they want to be a doctor. Fine, no problem. You can be a doctor because you've seen doctors before. These doctors were children like yourself. These doctors were youth like yourself. So you know it is not impossible. Fine, you've made the decision, you're now believing. Now you have a reason to go to school and do your homework. No, it's not the teacher prodding you and say, do your homework, you know, hear me see if you do your homework. No, it's not that again. It's you telling yourself, because I am a doctor, I will do my homework. Am I a doctor now? Yes, you are. You have 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 eyes, 1 brain. You're not going to grow an extra eye. You're not going to grow an extra head in order to become that doctor. You're a doctor now, but you're going to grow into the full manifestation of that medical profession. So fine, you're believing, and that motivates you to move. That is your personal motivation. That is the wind in your sail to say, I can do this. I can be the doctor. I can be the lawyer. I can be the entrepreneur. I can do all these things because not only am I strengthened by God who created me, but he's the one that gave me this vision. So guess what? You have to sustain me, God, because you're the one that says, I can do this. And I'm telling myself and standing on your word, which is in the Bible, which is floating around us in different areas. I am standing on that. I can do this. And by faith, you do the work. You go to school. So you might say, oh, I don't have any money. How am I going to go to university to become a doctor? How am I going to do that? There are options. So you start to seek. You start to seek. How can I become a doctor? My parents don't have the money. I grew up in the garrison, as they would say in Jamaica, or in the ghetto, you know, or I don't have a parent. I don't have a mother. I don't have a father. Boy, my mother job can't suffice. My mother just, they wait for me just done high school. We should just say, boy, I'm done with you know, go and go look a job. But how about the opportunities? Can I tell you something about me? I got a degree and I didn't spend a dime. Because I learned that, guess what? Poverty is not the lack of money. Poverty is the lack of access. And I learned that from someone that don't know that they are my mentor. That was Dr. Cindy Trim. Because I don't have people around me who is going to tell me how to be the better version of myself. So I started going on YouTube and finding these people who look like, who have the mindset that I want to have. And I start to glean from these people. I start listening, how they talk, what they do, what are their habits. And then I begin to repeat it. I begin to replicate it in my own life. And I begin to see the change. Because guess what? I can't force anybody to come and pay my school fee. So what am I going to do for myself in order to change this? And this is how we're supposed to be talking to the youth. So, okay, you can go into the army and still have a medical profession. How many of us tell our young people that? No, when they hear army, they hear about gun. But there are so many other opportunities. How about scholarships? There are so many scholarships out there. Because trust me, Jamaica is not the world. Florida is not the world. Zimbabwe, Tanzania, that's not the world. Haiti is not the world. And we have to tell them that. And that's why we push them to read, so that they can begin to travel in their mind's eye even before they put their foot on a plane, Donna. Is that true or is that true? Right. Yes, man, start to travel, start to see Africa before you even get on a plane to get to Africa. Start to see America, and not the America that they show you on cable. No, not that America. And so by faith, they take the action. They go to school and they push. No, remember when we were planting the melon seed and I said some stuff grow up? Some stuff grow up where you never plant. We call them weeds. Guess what? Our young people have some weeds around them too. You have some people, me don't know where they come from. Me don't know if the enemy say, I don't know where these people come from. They're called bad companies. They are called circumstances like you losing a loved one. They're called things like my house burned down. What me they go do now? All these things that are happening. And they're impacting our young people. They're impact crime and violence in Jamaica. COVID is a big weed.
Right.
Does this mean we still don't win? Does this mean, I give up? Does this mean that, what, whoever gave me this vision clearly did not see that COVID was going to come about? So clearly they made a mistake. I need to curl up and die. No, 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 no. This is where I say, let your light shine. Push through the weeds and reach for the sun, because you were made for this. Can you see yourself in that doctor's jacket? Can you see yourself as a teacher in front of that class teaching? And isn't that why they do careers day at these schools nowadays? We have career day for 6-year-olds all the way to our 13-year-olds. We want them to dress based on the dream that is in their hearts. So we dress them up here on the island because what? It's careers day, and we want to fuel that dream that they have. And then we have to wait, because you are not going to do an open heart surgery at 10 or at 11 or at 12. So now you have to wait to grow. So you grow up and you do what you need to do. You go to school, you do your internship, you do your residency, you do all of that stuff until what? You manifest into the thing, the very thing that you had planted like a seed inside of you. But look at all the things that you have gotten leading up to that. You are now resilient. You realize that you're resilient. You realize that you can be patient. You realize that faith is a thing and that you can move in this faith. You're realizing all of these things. And where are they coming from? They're coming from your source. So when our young people come to us and they ask us things like, how do I do it? Because I believe that that's a lot of things. We like to project, we like to say, boy, our young people are not from their parents, this and their. I'm saying no, don't, let's not take that route. Let's not take that route of pointing the finger anymore. Because if that was the case and the parents were the issue, or the community was the issue, then those young people that grew up with both parents and grew up in these communities that are, well gated and all of that, they should be, name brand star attractions. Wouldn't we agree? But we're still having challenges with our young people that are coming from these era, which means that it has something to do with the inside, what is happening on the inside out than on the outside in. So as I keep saying, whatever creates something must sustain it. As I said, the tree sustains the fruit, and parents are important. Don't get me wrong, but a parent did not create the child. So even if the parent goes off, whether they are absentee parents or we have orphans, guess what? That does not mean they didn't create. God created you and you're one of a kind. So he will sustain you. Every breath is a confirmation that he created you. So we're trusting until this thing happens and until this reality becomes real. So the youth today should be trusting that I am tomorrow's future. I am tomorrow's president or prime minister. I am tomorrow's doctor. I am tomorrow's farmer that is coming through with more innovative ways of feeding the country that I live in. And the purpose that is on you, the purpose, if realized from an early age, will keep you on that road. Because you're going to say, you know what? I'm not going to school. I'm not going to miss class and skip class because I want to be a doctor. So I can't afford to miss a lesson in class. I can't do that. I'm not going to skip out and disrespect my parents because even that too comes with its blessing. I'm not going to do these things because And that is a big why. And that is what we have to do, is to give our young people, or have them discover what their why is from an early age. What is your why? What do you want to? And I say, you're too young, man. Move from here. So you can't be no soldier. You can't be no doctor. You can't be no chef. You can't be no farmer. What kind of foolishness that? What kind of foolish profession that? But don't you eat food? Don't we value our farmers? You know, we have to think about these things. How can we think about tomorrow without thinking about the young people who are growing into our future? And they will ask us, when do I do this? They'll come to you at 15, 16 in the youth group. They'll DM you send you a direct message and say, when do I do this? And what do you tell them? Now. Now is when you make that decision. So fine, you drop out of school, you know, because, you know, you didn't understand what was happening. You weren't conscious, as I like to say it. So when do I do this? Do it now. You can make a decision to change. No. So yes, you drop out of school. All right, let's look for some programs that can assist you to get back on track. When do you do that? Now. They may ask you, where do I do that? Do I have to wait to go to America? Do I have to move out of this community because, you know, a zinc fence and shut a bus and all of these things? Do I have to move because all these things are? No. Where do you do it? You do it right now. You do it where you are. Make that decision now. And that is why I emphasize reading earlier. Give them the books. Read with them. Show them that there is a world bigger than where they are. And that's why I believe mentorship is so important. I learned about Africa through listening to mentors. I learned about so many different parts of the world, and I have never been there yet. I have never been there, and that is absolutely important to me. Where do I find these mentors? They're all around us. There are people like Donna, you're a mentor without even knowing it. We have Miss Eugenics on with us. She's a mentor without even knowing it. We have Raina McClurking, one of my mentors. She's a mentor. You know, we have people that are on live stream. We have pastors. We have people like Cindy Trim. We have people like her name is Professor Oluwajumoke. She's from Nigeria. She's a well-known architect. So even though they are seeing these people, you're not coming to them and saying, you know what, you need to give your life to God and all that. No, I'm not here to propagate any type of religion. I'm here to tell you that there is a superior reality that you can tap into. It is a kingdom reality that will literally change the trajectory of your life. So they'll ask you where, and you tell them right where you are, right in Jamaica, right in your community in Florida, right where you are in Haiti, right where you are in Africa, whichever of those countries that you are in. Then they will ask you how. They like to say, how Miss Donna, how am I going to do it?
Right.
And what do you tell them? One step at a time. Build that castle you want to live in, one brick at a time. And when I say one brick at a time, say, yes, that's where the patients come in. How can a little tiny ant eat a huge tiger? How can a drip of water tear down a mountain? How? Consistency and persistency. And we tell them that, and we don't leave them and tell them that, man. We stay around them and we say, you can do it, because hard times may come. We're not in a perfect world, but we have to keep telling them, yes, you can do it. Persist until you succeed. You know, hear from that person, let's go somewhere else. Let's knock on a door. Let's seek. Let's ask until we get the answer that we want. And we continue on that platform. We continue with that exact habit until we get to where we need to be. We have to understand, and we have to allow our youth to understand as well, that we cannot change what's around us. After day comes night. After night comes day. Donna has the same 24 hours as I do. So it's not like you have more hours in your day. than these young people. And sometimes I think they don't understand that it's the same 24 hours. If you don't like it, you have to go and take it up with the big man upstairs, in all honesty, because it's really 24 hours that we are all given. After day comes night, after winter comes spring. These are things that you cannot change. So what do? You change yourself. You not throw up hands and say, me can't bother ya, man, because I cannot change these things that are external. Start with you. Let's start with ourselves. There are two young men that I want to draw to our attention. One is from Norway. His name is Magnus Christoph. He's a young man in Norway, and he created something that they call on the market a fuel saver. What it really does is maximize the capacity of electricity in your car so that it will burn more fuel efficient. Now I hear that gas is really expensive in Norway. And what was this young man's why? Why did he do it? Because they're asking how. But if you have a why, as I said before, you will know how. Because the only reason why he even looked at this fuel saver, which is a to allow his car to burn more efficient where fuel is concerned, is because he wanted to go and look for his girlfriend, and he didn't want that trip to cost him an entire week's salary. What a why. So it doesn't have to be a big why to save the world. But guess what? He created something that his country is benefiting from today. There's another young man that is not far. He's from the United States. They identify him as Johnny A. Guess what? Johnny A he is an orphan, and he is living in a poor community. I don't remember the state, but guess what? The people in his community could not even afford internet. So there was no Wi-Fi. So, the children are not doing their schoolwork, especially in this time, because there is no Wi-Fi to do the whole online classes. He created something that is called Next 5. Now he has an IQ of 152, which is not given by man. I know that was given by God. And he created this device, which has revolutionized Wi-Fi in people's home. So, you're in your house and you go in your kitchen and you realize your Wi-Fi weak. These are the things that he created, the Next 5. So you can get one of these devices now to purchase, to put in your home. Why? He created it because he wanted Wi-Fi to do his schoolwork, and his school benefited from it. And guess what? It works. So his why, even though it was a personal decision, it is now bringing in money. It is now bringing in money. And it's so amazing because when you go to school, they say, go to school, get a good education, get a good job. Then what? Is it just for the money? But money is not the most important thing. Money is not the most valuable thing that you could have. They're not telling us about relationships, that too is important. What is money? Money is literally secondary. It's a secondary, let me tell you, because I wrote it down and I had to write it down because I'm like, this is amazing. If our young people would know this, then we would definitely get it. Money is a secondary outcome of work. Secondary outcome of work. Then what is work for? Work is to express God-given gifts and talents so we can impact the humanity and contribute to life. You can put your little touch on life while you are here, because we know we ain't here forever. We know tomorrow is promised to no man. We've seen the disasters. How many persons on these disasters figured that, okay, I woke up this morning and I thought, next week I'm going to go to the river, or I'm going to go shopping with my friends, or I'm going to go to Vegas or whatever, but they didn't go home. Right. Their day ended in the morgue. So for us to be telling our young people that, listen, money is important. Yes, it has importance because, we need money to go and buy gas, buy food, and all of that. But you can also barter and trade. So it's not the most important thing why you want to work. That's not why you pick a profession. And that's why you will find teachers saying to you now, I've been a teacher for 60 years or I've been a teacher for 30 years, but I never really wanted to be a teacher. I really wanted to be a nurse. I really wanted to go and spread the gospel. I really wanted to, have a nonprofit for young adults, for young men. And I know we call this women of culture, but it is us women that create these men. We are the only one that can bring men into this world. So it's important that we as women get it right, so we can teach it to men so they get it right. So it is absolutely important. I really appreciate the opportunity to share this evening. Time will not allow us. We can talk and back and forth, but thank you so much for standing with us and just believing that, listen, if we pass this information on, definitely the youth for today will be the tomorrow that we want to see. The problems that our youth ministers have today, if they don't realize that if we don't fix it, tomorrow they're going to be the problems of our security ministers. So let's fix it while we can. Let's fix it right here and right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. I love, because I'm always about the plotting. We have to be intentional, and not just we as a community, we in the household, at school, sometimes as parents, we kind of rely or we push that off to let the kids go to school and learn, but we have to get more involved. Now the thing is, sometimes, oh, you're muted, Sky. Sometimes
Sorry.
sometimes that family, right? So we have to understand that sometimes the family does not have the tools
Mm-hmm.
empower the youth. So we have to recognize that, and so that's when that youth now have to, unfortunately, reach out to maybe a neighbor or a teacher or someone in the church.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, we don't have that support. We don't have individuals like yourself in that household to motivate and to empower. But we see, and hopefully becomes more apparent, that we have to have it. We must have more empowerment in that household.
But even if it's not in the household, Donna, and I'm gonna say this, we can't. I know we're in a society right now, or it would seem like we're in a society where everybody is about me. It's very individual. It's about me and I and my. No, sometimes it's not even about you, in all honesty. Sometimes the only reason why you ended up in that community is to help that one young man, is to help that one young woman. But we don't open our eyes to see, to say he hasn't been going to school. Stop him on the road and say, hey, Junior, what's going on? I realize I'm not see you go to school. What's going on? It could be something as small as that. It could be that, all right, he don't have, fine, he has the lunch money, but he not have no uniform. So maybe you can reach out to a tailor and say, that I'm looking some help to help a young man go back to school. You can bless me with a suit of khaki or so and so. But are we opening our eyes to look to say, our youths are crying out, but they don't know how to express themselves. Right. They don't know how to express themselves. And that is why the gangs come underneath us and say, come identify with me. We got you. We'll feed you. We will clothe you. We will make you look like us. And that is why they gravitate to them, because they're now providing all these little things that they should have been getting from others. Fine, it's not in the home. Right. But what about the Shantalee that is in that community? What about the Dana that passes my way every time? What about that?
Yes. And they do migrate to the gangs because that love, or just, a lot of times,
identity. Yes, they identify.
You're at home, but you're being ignored. Mom and dad or whoever not talking to you, not even recognizing you. So the gangs, they lure them too, to say, hey, come, we got you, we understand you. So and again, it comes back, Sky, to the, like you said, responsibility, right? But we're here to encourage them. This is not an accident. And even the individuals today that signed on,
right,
a personal responsibility to say, look, I want to learn more in my household, or for the next household, for the community, So everything here is a blessing. We're blessed to be a blessing.
Yes.
And it's important, like you mentioned, we have to plant and then weed. Because sometimes people think they just plant it and walk away. You have
Oh,
to weed, you have to water. It's a consistent maintenance. And I always say it a mental maintenance too, because
yes.
you start on a journey and then you start to talk yourself out of it.
Mm,
And you yourself,
don't I know?
are our first enemy, because
Yes.
we have that silent chatter going, you can't do this, you started, but just forget it, just drop it. And it's just like exercise, right? We say we're gonna do this and this and that, and then 2 days we don't see that we lost 5 pounds, so we say we forget about it. So it's a mental journey, and it's a daily, take one day at a time, because it can be overwhelming to say, well, I want to get here, but I'm so far away.
Right.
Single day. I have what I call a mindfulness technique that we talk about. It's called Alive. And A is for affirmations, doing daily affirmations, just a little talking to yourself.
Yes.
What we say to ourselves, the words that we speak will bless or curse us. So we need to start affirming positive, empowering thoughts. Sometimes we're walking around and we're thinking negatively about ourselves. So you see, nobody else even doing it. We're doing it.
Yes.
No, L is for love. We have to learn more self-love. We have to learn to love God, and then to understand that we are in the likeness of God. We are an heir. We are a child of God. So how can you say you love God yourself?
Exactly. And let me just put a pin in that.
Mhm.
The word tells us that I should love my neighbor as I love myself. So if I don't love me, I can't love you, Donna.
Right.
I honestly can't. And I think that is why there is so much competition. So you will find people coming, let me just use this. Oh, my hair is ugly.
Mhm.
And I always ask my youths, in comparison to whose?
Right.
It don't compare, because you're literally one of a kind. So that love goes right hand in hand with the affirmation. Go continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I is for imagination. It's important for us to have imagination, like you said. Start to imagine your life. If you do not see yourself going anywhere, more than likely you're not going to go anywhere. Start imagining seeing yourself at home, seeing yourself achieving your dreams, your goals,
Yes.
seeing yourself at the end of in the doctor's, the lab coat, or the nurse, or the electrician, whatever it is that you want. Start to see yourself more. um V, have a vision. We must have a vision. Every Before they build a house, there's a blueprint.
Plan.
Before they do the car, there's a blueprint. But we want to have this successful life with no blueprint.
Yeah.
Get to from A to Z. We don't want to spend the time on it. So what do? We wander, and we just wander around, and we 5, 10 years later, you're like, boy, I should have went back to school.
Yeah. But you lost the time.
Right? So it's important to have a vision for your life. And E stands for encouragement. And a lot of times we are going to be in households or environments where we don't have anybody else encouraging ourselves. So we must learn we have to be our first best friend. We must, you know, congratulate yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself and say, boy, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that you got on this call. I'm so proud that you showed up for this forum.
Yes.
Sunday, right? You didn't have to be here. You could just be walking around or just relaxing watching TV, but you took the time out. So we have to learn to encourage ourselves, because these little things add up. Every day we're pushing ourselves, especially when you don't have anybody else to do it. There's some youth right now, they're in situations being abused in all different ways.
Yeah.
There's nobody there to encourage them. So they have to learn to encourage and to tap into God, and have that personal relationship with God, and ask the questions. ask for directions, ask for the guidance. All you know, when you start to do that, you start to that why, like you said. It's when you get that why, it's amazing how it pushes you. So now you get on the call. Now you do the schoolwork, like you said. So all these things, we have to learn to not just put the seed in the ground, but we have to maintain it. We have to water it daily, maintenance, right? And then the seeds, you cannot plant melon and expect mango, right? So then,
I know. Expectations, crazy
yes, they're
expectations.
speaking negative over their lives. They're thinking negative over their lives. They're saying they're no good. All these things. But then you want to reap mangoes. We have to understand that this whole farmer, that this whole platform, and that's why I say plot goodness. We have to purposely, because it seems like it's more automatic for us to, because trust me, we're plotting, whether it's positive or negative, we're plotting, and
that's right.
It's automatic that we're just plotting negative for ourselves with our own thoughts and words about ourselves. And guess what? We think we're not plotting, but then guess what? With the negative emotion manifests as what? It manifests as sickness.
Yes.
Health issues, because we're not dealing with it. So it festers as cancer, as this, as that. So
you know, it's amazing that you would say that, Donna, because you know, you may be looking at this person and they're so confident, you know, and you're like, boy, you know, I don't know. But then you realize they start bleaching their skin. And I'm like, if you're so confident, why are you trying to change? You know, so as you rightfully said, it starts to manifest.
right.
Even if you're not saying it to anybody, you're sitting there with these thoughts, and the thoughts turn into your actions. And the actions create your circumstances and your habits and your, in the long run, your destiny.
Yes. Yes. We have a role to play, and I know from years ago we weren't really taught on this level, but we do. You cannot just pray and sit down and say, boy, you know, I'm gonna get that big job and this, and somewhere,
no,
I think somewhere some people got it twisted with that you're just somebody's gonna show up and offer you the job. You don't have to do the resume, you don't have to get the training, and it's somewhere some people got that memo. So you must be in. I always say God is our coach, and He's right there. But you gotta, He's not.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Right there.
He
because
is the ultimate life coach.
What did you say? You just say, oh, so they taught us that we should just pray and call it, and it will happen.
Yes.
But our coach, our manual, what did he say? Faith without works is what? Dead.
As you believe.
There you go. And as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Right. So we have to do some work. And even though we maybe grew up in an environment where the beliefs were low and negative, and you were told that you're nothing, you're a worm and this and that. No, you can't change it, but we got to do the work. We got to do the mental maintenance.
Yes.
And connect with the Wi-Fi. God is the best, strongest Wi-Fi right there to connect with. Right?
That's right.
Because, you know, they can understand with certain things. And just like how we have to upload this and that with our phones, we have to constantly update our beliefs about ourselves too. Because we are the vessels here to do God's work. God needs to be mentally positive, to go out and bless. So we need to understand that it's Team God. It's us and God to do His work. So if you're around here being bitter, unforgiving, how can you be a blessing in your community? So we need to understand that it's really, and we have to understand that we are planting the seeds. And if you keep planting soursop, and you're complaining that you didn't get mango. Did you plant mango? No, you plant soursop. So next time, come back tomorrow and plant mango.
Exactly. Exactly. You always have, and that's why I always say all you have to do is make a decision. It doesn't cost you anything to make a decision. fine. It's not going to happen today because you might say, oh, it's Sunday, nowhere is open. Make a decision tomorrow, everywhere is open. Make that call, reach out to that person. And the amazing thing about God is he will put somebody on your mind.
Yes.
And when you reach out to that person, you realize they have access to exactly what you need. They are that destiny helper that you didn't even realize. And you're like,
Yes.
oh, I didn't even know that you were involved in all of that stuff, but you've never asked. And that's why it's so important to first ask the question, else the answers will never come. You're not asking the question, so how do you expect to get an answer to what? This is like me saying to Donna, red. And you're like, red what? What red? You didn't ask me anything.
Right.
So how can I provide you with an answer?
Our Father tells us to be still.
Amazing.
So we pray and ask, and then we need to learn to just be still sometimes and listen.
Yes.
Listen for the answers, listen for the direction. Like you said, the person will come to you, the resources will, So we have to get a little bit more involved in our lives instead of watching people's reality show on TV. We need to we're a part
create your own reality show, your reality.
Yes, direct your reality show. And when you're busy doing that, you don't even have time to be in other people's business and all of that.
That's true.
So, are there any questions? Because it seems like me and Scott, we can go on.
Sorry.
Any questions or feedback? Let's check the chat. Encouraging words. Awesome perspective. So, we hope that this is if you have any questions, now is your time to just come on and make a comment or add to something, something that you want to share, because again, this is a team effort, and
yes,
it's about vibes. Bob Marley always talked to us about vibes. Vibes is important, and it's a lot deeper than what we even think. But again, our emotional health can bless us or curse us because we take on the stress of life, the cancers and the this and the that, because we're holding on to these things. And we have to address, even in the church, we see a lot of negative things happening. We have to understand that it's not being talked about, and we need to talk about it because the community depends and relies so much on the information from the church, and we need to understand and get more connected with God, and understanding that we shouldn't be so far removed.
So true. That is true.
You don't need the pastor to get to God. You can connect with God, and you shouldn't wait till once a week.
Every day.
Throughout the
every day.
4 or 5 times a day. I always tell people, take a little 2 minutes. And
we have our sister Mom Pierre. Her hand is up.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I'm hiding behind the camera.
Good evening.
I would like to thank you, Shantalee, for great presentations. And I hope Sister Donna will bring you more. And I invite a few young people because they have a program this afternoon they couldn't attend. But we need more of you. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Donna. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister.
Mom Premier. So I'm definitely thankful for Sky. I'm thankful for everyone, and
yes,
every day of my community, my partners, because just like you said, you start out in one way and you ask God, and out of nowhere, people will show up and they're referred to you and so forth. And it's all when you connect and ask God, not my will, but thine be done. Once you kind of surrender to that, not my will, but that, then, oh my God, people are going to be like, coming to you. And so I'm just glad, and I'm thankful that I'm able to share this platform with like-minded individuals and to understand and realize that we have to be a part of shaping the youth, we have to be the first example of love, of compassion, everything, peace, everything that they're looking for. We have to be that example, and your information and my information and the other mentors on here and coaches on here, we all together can learn, and it's all for the betterment, because they are our youth are seeds of greatness. They may not see it right now, but they are seeds of greatness. So I want to thank everyone. Sky, did you have a website or anything or any page?
No, I'm on Facebook really, but you can just contact me directly. On Instagram, I don't even know my Instagram name. I think I'm Sky underscore 4 underscore something. I don't remember. I'll have to post it probably on your site or something. But
Right.
just connect me direct. I'm Shantalee on Facebook, just the same. If you need to reach out to me, you can send me a text or anything like that. WhatsApp for sure, where that is concerned, if you have any questions or queries. But just since I have the mic, I just want to give a big hail out to some persons that are on the platform that took the time out to join us. I see two of my fellow youth leaders and sisters, Tara and Sonia, on here. I want to big you guys up. I see Jerome. I know that we met in August, but it's good to have a man in the building. Definitely.
Yes.
And I see one of the most amazing heart teachers on here. Her name is Miss Williams. Listen to me. This woman have a heart for children, and she has invented and reinvented herself to help her class. So I want to take my hat off to her. I always tell her, so she had a boss, but I just want to take this opportunity to just thank them for joining on here. And trust me, these are like-minded people as well.
And before, I was going to ask you also about Jerome is actually a female. Jerome is a woman, but
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
So, but she gets that all the time. So Jerome is awesome. And she's also a part of our Women of Culture Inc.
Okay.
You are also with Boss. Is there
Yes.
a page for that, or?
Yes, you can go onto Facebook and search for Boss. It's an acronym, so it's B.O.S.S. Yes, Boss Jamaica Limited, or Boss the Movement, because they did originate out of the US, out of California actually. So they're actually about to start a new program on Zoom, because you have to reinvent yourself with everything that is happening, where they're doing trainings on Saturday between 1 hour, 11 to 12. So if parents want to get on, because you're saying, the children are saying, I don't understand. Find out why they're saying that. Take it from another level. You want to understand what they're saying, but are you willing to put in the work to learn? Boss is doing something great. I'm going to send the link onto Women of Culture, so if you want to share it, you definitely can. And it's on Zoom, so it's not like you have to leave the comfort of your home, and you can share it with someone, or share it with a family, a parent or a teacher that would love this information to grow.
Awesome. Well, if we don't have any comments from anyone else, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to just let you know that Women of Culture, you can find us at Women of Culture with a K. Culture with womenofculture.org, or on Facebook and Instagram at Women of Culture Inc. There are several other Women of Culture. So it's Women of Culture INC on Facebook and Instagram. And we are going to see, like I said, I'm thinking quarterly, because the scheduling, and that way, it's not too diluted for the YouTube with everybody else's other virtual schedule and so forth.
Right.
So again, Sky, thank you so much for sharing with us. And each time that we share, it's going to be all about empowering mindset. tapping into purpose, right? Finding that why, or just, lighting that fire.
Yes.
Now they can go home and go, what is my why? We understand that it's not, money can't be the thing. You got to find out the purpose. God blesses all of us with gifts. We have to tap into the gifts. All right. So thank you, everyone. I'll share the link and I'll send this out via email. It's going to be recorded and put on our YouTube. So be blessed, and until next time.
Thank you.
We'll end
Thank
with
you, everyone. Bye.
With a video.
Not caring.
All of you leaving here have the potential for enormous success. There's a price that comes with that. First and foremost, knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. Being able to answer this question, who am I? And what do I want? I'm asking the bigger question of who am I? Who am I really? And what do I want? I don't want to just be successful in the world. I don't want to just make a mark or have a legacy. The answer to that question for me is I want to fulfill the highest, truest expression of myself as a human being. You must have some kind of vision for your life. Even if you don't know the plan, you have to have a direction in which you choose to go. You want to be in the driver's seat of your own life, because if you're not, life will drive you. Knowing who you really are in this space and time that we embody. You must find a way to serve. Martin Luther King said that not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. Now, we live in a world where everybody wants to be famous and where we admire people for just being famous. We think being known brings us value. The truth is, all of that will fade in time. In 3 years, you won't be able to name the housewives of Atlanta. The real truth is that service and significance, service and the significance that you bring to your service is that which is lasting. When you shift the paradigm of whatever it is you choose to do to service, and you bring significance to that, success will, I promise you, follow you. Service and significance equals success. Here's the key. Learn from every mistake, because every experience, encounter, and particularly your mistakes are there to teach you and force you into being more of who you are. And then figure out what is the next right move. What is your true calling? What is your dharma? What is your purpose? All of you leaving here have the potential for enormous success. There's a price that comes with that. People don't always like you, and they're not always happy for you. And if you surround yourself with people who are not accustomed to your success, they become fearful, they become scared, because you are reflecting back something to them that they don't recognize. People who want the best for you want you to be your best. So my greatest advice to you is to surround yourself with people who are going to fill your cup until your cup runneth over. And what I know for sure is that the biggest choices begin and end with you, your internal big questions. Who do I want to be in the world? Be excellent. People notice. Let excellence be your brand. Everybody talks about building a brand. I never even knew what that was. When people say, you're a brand, I would say, no, I'm just Oprah. What I recognize now is that my choice to, in every way, in every example, in every experience, to do the right thing and the excellent thing is what has created the brand.
Happy Sunday, and until next time, everyone, be blessed.